All right. What's happening, people? Janu, what's happening? Kirk T, welcome. Welcome, everybody. Teton Skier, red truck in the house. I got a red truck right here. It's got a bumper sticker. It says embrace the jank. Yeah. I like that you're liking the live. Hey, Jano, what's happening? How's the UK? I don't know. I'm in Pennsylvania. It's like the UK. They still have funny accents. It's just a different funny accent. Good evening. I am in a lovely hotel room. What is this? It is a Sonesta Suites. I'm in a Sonesta Suites. And I got my little lamp on. I got my TV over here watching the hurricane stuff. So anyone, if you're if you're watching this in Florida, please don't. But I'm sending my best to anyone in Florida. I know Daisy Thomas is down there. I've got family down there. So I hope everyone is safe. And it looks like it's gone a little bit south of Tampa. So that's good. Anyway, I'm in South Florida. Well, you're probably going to get at least dumped on, if not some decent storm surge. But yeah. Anyway, Source Camp is here. This is a very janky setup, not to be unexpected here at the AI Learning Lab. You got to embrace the jank, people. You gotta embrace the jank. Right now, just lots of wind gusts. All right. Yeah, that's good. My sales guy, Rich, his parents just have a place just south of Tampa. It's right on the water. I don't think it's going to do too good. So, all right. So, I got no dog. I got no guitar. So there's no singing. There's no fancy dog. There's 165 people in here. Apparently, I should be doing this from hotel rooms more often. I think that's TikTok just boosting it temporarily, so that'll probably drop down to normal levels. But if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. And we talk about AI stuff here. Normally, I'm going live an hour later than this, but I'm going live now just because I'm on the East Coast and it's later. And I just got back from dinner, which was adequate. Expensive but adequate. I hate expensive but adequate. It's like if you're gonna pay a lot for food, it should fucking not be horrible. Let me look for one other thing here. I might need to load this off the iCloud. Yep, it's downloading off iCloud, so I'll get the information about the salon up on screen in a brief moment. So here's what we'll do. So if you have any questions or thoughts or things you're working on with AI, pop them in the comments below. I'll do my best to wax philosophic about it. Couple of notable things in the past day or two. I haven't really had much time at all to pay too much attention to this, but I did see that Demis Hassabis and another co-founder at DeepMind won the Nobel Prize for chemistry for their work, probably on the material science, the 380,000 stable crystals that they dumped onto the material science world. I'm guessing that was related to that, or maybe it was the AlphaFold and AlphaFold 2, the protein folding stuff. They won the Nobel Prize, and then Geoffrey Hinton won the Nobel Prize for physics. So this AI shit, it's getting a couple of nods like, this is some big deals. So anyway, no champy. I know Emilio's wife, right? I finally did a project for education. I used NotebookLM to analyze new data from CMEC. Very cool. Love that. Yay for science. Yep, we're fans of science here. Yeah, we were up to 165 people. We're down to 53 now. So we got rid of the 100 people that were like, Rosie O'Donnell's let herself go. Click. Zzz. Zzz. Foomp. Foomp. Thanks for your teaching, Kyle. Well, thank you, June Mary, for the acknowledgement. I appreciate that. Early, welcome to the East Coast time, Kyle. I know, Silver Fox. I was feeling bad about that. I was like, wait a minute. It can't be this late that I'm starting. I'm like, oh, it's an hour later that I start. Yeah. It's kind of an asshole move for me to start this at 8 o'clock Mountain, but I got, I work till 5 or 6, and then I got to have dinner, spend a little time with the family, it's just, it's like, who am I going to be an asshole to? Apparently it's the East Coasters. Oh, man. Woohoo, scrolled into some early jank. Can I get a jank stamp, please? Oh, yeah. All yours, Frumple. Nah, who needs sleep? We get it. Are you just trying to confuse us this week? Well, it's confusing for me, too, because I'm in the wrong time zone. Our days are, like, booked solid, and then we're driving because we're basically traversing Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania over 4 days. So it's like... Tomorrow morning we've got a 9 a.m. call, a 10 a.m. call, and we're going to have lunch down here, and then we drive to Connecticut. And then we drive from Connecticut and barely make it back for my flight. So I don't think I'll be on tomorrow night, but if the flight's delayed, I'll do another airport live. So I fall asleep listening. Listen, you don't need sleep medicine when you have the AI Learning Lab. Here's the fallacy, though, is you think you're going to learn things through osmosis, but you're not. It's just me saying stupid shit. All right. I'm asking Google, Claude, ChatGPT, and Perplexity the same questions and one of two. Something else. Are you traveling for Storyvine? Yeah, this is all Storyvine. We're hitting the pharma corridor from Philly to Boston. We had 4 meetings at Merck today. We had a nice meeting with a friend at Novartis. Tomorrow we've got BI. Who else did we meet with? I don't know. There's a lot. I woke up from a near-death experience nap for this. Yes. Yes, you did. Well, listen. Here's what we teach here at the AI Learning Lab. Expect disappointment in your life. Suck it up, Buttercup. Sometimes life sucks. You're like, this is entertainment? Is this is what I paid for? All right. Come on over to Kentucky. We have the original KFC. I'm in. I like it. All right. Sorry for being on and off with the community. Head has been down, making really good progress on my AI platform work, having fun with AI. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, welcome back. Listen, there are no actual class requirements except for Emilio's wife. She's expected to be here every day on time and does nothing but disappoint us. nothing but disappoint us. It's her what's it called? Her report card, just chock full of demerits. It's the Storyvine traveling show. It is. It's the traveling road show. All right. Did you hear about the AI bots that read text in a form of a podcast? Kind of scary. Oh, yeah. So that's so Sharon Crawford, that's NotebookLM. If you want to do one, it's not scary when you use it. If you're just looking at AI from the outside, AI can seem really scary. If you're using these tools, it does a couple of things. It demonizes them, in my opinion, and it demystifies them a bit. And so if you want to play with that, go to notebooklm.google.com. And the way it works, there's a thing down the left-hand side. In fact, I can show it here. My setup is a little janky, but I can actually show it to you. All right, so that is not NotebookLM. That's the Salon. But I'm going to go to notebooklm.google.com. And then you'll probably have to log into it or whatever. But you basically say new notebook, and I'm going to click on not a new notebook, but I'm going to click on this one called Collective Intelligence. And the way this works is this. Down the left-hand side is where you've got your... oh, wait, I can do this. Hang on, I've got a gimbal here, so... Yeah, there we go. Down the left-hand side is where you've got your knowledge. So I uploaded, this is just a PDF of a book that I'm about to publish. I think it's coming out next week. Called Collective Intelligence in the Age of AI. You can put multiple documents here. You can put YouTube video URLs here. You can put website URLs. But basically, you upload a bunch of content, and then the way the site works, it allows you to chat with it, to interact with it. So you just chat down here, just like ChatGPT, but you're interacting with your documents. So if you put up a bunch of annual reports for a business, you could say, hey, tell me about, what these annual reports have in common, or, what are some trends you're seeing, whatever it might be. But in the lower right-hand corner here is this thing called Notebook Guide. And if you click on that, it does some cool stuff. It gives you a summary of all the data that you've uploaded. It gives you some shortcuts to create like an FAQ, a timeline, a briefing document, whatever. Gives you some suggestions for other things you can ask. And it gives you this thing, audio overview. And all you do is say generate. Right now mine says load because I've already generated one. But if you haven't, it'll say generate right there. And you generate it. And then what it does is it generates this audio podcast between a guy and a woman, kind of like NPR style podcast, talking about the thing. So here they are talking about my book. So I'll play this a little bit here.
All right. So today we're going to dive into something kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah.
The future of intelligence.
Yeah.
It's a big one.
But we're not talking, like those sci-fi movies with robots taking over.
Right.
This is different. This is about humans and AI, like teaming up
Yeah.
to become something even smarter than we could be on our own.
Like unlocking superpowers we never thought of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to help us explore this, we've got Collective Intelligence in the Age of AI.
Great book.
It
Great
is.
book.
And, the authors, Kevin Clark and Kyle Shannon, they're not just talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
They're actually out there building it
Yeah, they're really making it happen.
with their company.
So anyway, so that's it. So I would strongly encourage you, if you haven't played with this, I would strongly encourage you to go do that. The joke about me having less tabs when I'm traveling is actually a good one. So today when we were at Merck, I could not log into their Wi-Fi because my Chrome browser had completely shit the bed. It acted like it was functional, except for when I tried to submit the password for getting on their Wi-Fi. So one of our meetings started 15 minutes late. And I actually ended up just using my hotspot, which I probably should have done sooner. So, yeah. If only Google had programmers that could manage to build a pull-down menu for all their products. Honest to God, Archetypal Architect, it's Seriously, all they need is a single landing page, like ai.google.com, and it's a bunch of links to all the shit you can go play with. But everything is a different URL. It's an absolute nightmare. I think NotebookLM is going to get a little bit more attention, and it's got its own URL. So I think they're going to pay some attention to this one. But yeah, their product marketing and product management over there are special. Not good. Not good at all. Does anyone try the image edit in ChatGPT? I use it all the time, and it is frustratingly bad, but I'm too lazy to move my images into things where I can actually edit them, so I just keep trying. And then I eventually just give up. My Embrace the Jank book, I've got 2 images that I need to create for the last 2 chapters, and I just haven't been able to get it to spell anything remotely correctly for them. So I've just kind of bailed on it for a while, so I need to get back to that. That's a good reminder, actually. Have I tried Autogen Studio 3.0 yet? No. It's coming on if you're a builder. Yeah, I'm not a programmer, I'm not a builder, so I'm a builder more of stuff that just uses generative AI. I've done a little bit of programming with the Replit auto agent, which is not bad, but I'm just not a programmer. I'm more a product guy. Oh yeah, hello. Who gave me that? Forever Hook? Thank you so much. Yeah, I guess my hair is looking a little Elvis-y, but not quite that Elvis-y. IDEO is really good for spelling. It is. Here's the problem, though. I've got all of the images for the Embrace the Jank book were done in OpenAI, in ChatGPT DALL-E 3. And when I take the same prompts and put them in ideogram or other things, they don't look the same. So I need the look and feel that I've gotten from OpenAI. I just haven't had the persistence to get those last images right. Or I've been too lazy to go into Photoshop and just Photoshop it in. Whatever. I don't care. It's called Embrace the Jank, so I'm embracing the jank, but I can't get it to spell enough of the words that they actually look like words for those last 2 chapters. I've been away meeting a deadline. Have you played much with Canvas? I've played a decent amount with Canvas. I wouldn't say that I'm an expert at all, but what I can tell you is that if you don't know what Canvas is, it's the new editing pane. If you're in ChatGPT and you click on the model pull-down menu, there's a new thing called GPT 4.0 with Canvas, and it gives you an editable window. So if you ask it to write you a chapter of a book, it gives you that chapter of the book, and then you can just select paragraphs within it and have it rewrite it. You can tell it to make it shorter or longer. You can change the reading grade level. But the significant thing is you're actually editing piece parts of that document. And you can do the same with programming. So it's quite powerful. Always Elvis-y. Oh, man. It's driving me nuts not having agents yet. I want them ASAP. I'm with you, Jason. I can't. I'm just like... I am in such I've been in such an impatient place with AI because OpenAI just stopped shipping shit over the summer that I'm just in a persistent state of I want my crap. I want my crap and I want it now. Give me the AI stuff. Give it to me for free. I want all this remarkable technology and I don't want to pay for it. Where's my Sora? Where's the audio? I'm whiny. So, yeah, I'm whiny. I'm with you. All right. It's cool being able to render into Canvas to see if the code is working for UI stuff. Yeah, the problem with Canvas right now is it doesn't have a web rendering pane like Claude Artifacts does. And that's just kind of a pain in the ass. Anytime I have to copy and paste into another environment, I'm like, this feels like work. I'm just going to... How about I just not? How about if I just... No. I read they're trying to push out Search GPT before the end of 2024. Yeah, I heard that too. I heard that Mira Murati was the one that was kiboshing all the product launches. And I think the The other thing that I heard was that Sam Altman gave the testing team 9 days to test O1 preview. And then he pushed it out. And I think that's why Mira Murati quit. So Sam's just like, fuck it, we're putting some stuff in the world. And Mira was like, maybe we should test it before we do? What do you think? And he's like, nah, I'm good. And she's like, all right, I'm going to leave. He's like, okay. But yeah, I heard Search GPT was one of those that she wouldn't let out. So here's my philosophy with all this stuff. I am now at the point where I don't care if you announce something. Like Meta just announced their new video model, and all these Twitter idiots were like, they launched Meta launched a new video model. No, they didn't launch it. They had an announcement that somewhere in one of their labs, they've got a cool video thing. When do we get to play with it? How about never? Does never work for you? So I'm done with those announcements. Fuck them. If I can't play with it, it doesn't exist. I was mixed up then. Oh, Claude is what you were referring to. Yeah. Yeah, Claude being able to render the stuff right in line after it writes the code is magical. That feels magical to me. Llama has an open source stack for developing agents. I've not had any luck yet. Yeah. I like Canvas, but I went too long and gave up because reading. Does selecting the 4.0 option with Canvas extend the number of prompts you get with 4.0? Well, 4.0 I don't think has a limit on it. Unless you're on a free version, then it probably does. I would assume that 4.0 with Canvas is probably a different server, is my guess. So maybe the counter resets. I don't know where the counter is calculated. And I think you've got unlimited prompts with GPT 4.0. You have limited prompts with O1 Preview and with O1 Mini. I don't think you have that same restriction. It's my toothbrush. I don't think you have that same restriction with 4.0. But I could be wrong. I don't know. Someone could correct me. I want it now, Veruka Salt. Exactly. I want it now, Daddy. I like the purple one. Did you see the media interview with Jeffrey Hinton? I did not. But I did see that he won, and I saw someone said something about what he said in that interview, but I didn't see it. I was getting 0.1 and 4.0 confused because they need a marketing team. Exactly, Jenu. Yeah. 4.0, 0.1 preview, 0.1 mini, 4.0 mini. Yeah. It's stupid. I mean, honest to God. So, and why has no one asked Sam Altman that? Hey, Sam, quick question for you. What the fuck? What the fuck is with the names? You've got a reasoning engine that behaves differently than the other shit. Why would you not name it like GPT-R? It sounds like a fast car, and the R stands for reasoning. And GPT-R would be different than ChatGPT 4.0. No. We named it O1 because the O is for OpenAI, except the GPT 4.0 is for GPT-4 Omni. Like, Sam, you seem like someone who went to college once. Bueller? Sam Altman names his products like George Foreman names his kids, Kyle or anyone. Are agents like virtual assistants? Well, do you mean a virtual assistant like a real human being virtual assistant? What agents are is you can kind of experience it a bit if you've ever played with Code Interpreter in ChatGPT. So if you go into ChatGPT and you upload a CSV file, right, a data file, and then you say, tell me what's interesting about this data, you can actually watch it writing code. It like prompts itself, okay, I'm going to go do this. And then it writes code in Python and it executes it and it comes up with the result. And if it doesn't like the result, it says, oops, I don't like that result. There's an error in it. Let me try a different approach. And then it tries it again. So that's got a bit of that autonomous component to it where and if you watch the O1 preview, if you open that little pull down menu when it says thinking, you can actually see the prompts that it's giving itself. So it's thinking through the problem in this multi-step way. Agents are kind of like that, with the addition that they can use function calling, so they can actually take an action on your behalf. So not only could it think through things, like I could say, hey, I'm going to be in this part of Pennsylvania, find me a good restaurant near this hotel and book me reservations. The agent will, say, okay, well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find out where that location is. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to search for restaurants. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go on, Grubhub, or not Grubhub, whatever that one is, OpenTable. OpenTable? It doesn't fucking matter. But, I'm going to log in for Kyle on his OpenTable account. I'm going to book reservations. If he doesn't like them, I'll go back and rebook them. So an agent is going to do reasoning plus taking action on your behalf. I joined TikTok just to be here today. Well, awesome. Welcome. I'm sorry that this is your first TikTok channel, but it's very flattering. What'd you do tonight? I watched some chubby guy in a hotel, kind of, sort of talking about AI. Unfortunately, TikTok will self-destruct in 5 seconds. Oh, man. Worse, could be named like cars and make no sequence sense. Yeah, well, but it doesn't make sequence sense. It was like, it was 3, 4, 4-0, and then now 0-1. It went backwards. It went back to 0. But it's not a 0. It's just an O. But it's not omni. I can't talk about it. It makes me cranky. It makes me cranky. All right. What else is happening? What should I be talking about or looking at? Raptor's a cool name too. Yeah. GPT Raptor. Sure. Great. Anything. Any fucking thing. But 01. Not a marketing company. 10 p.m. Monday through Friday Eastern time. Yep. 11 p.m. Tuesdays. Keep coming. Yep, exactly. I enjoy watching you lose your mind about it. It's just like, am I the only one? I'm not, because I see other people bitching about it. Like, enough people have been bitching about their naming, like, long before 01 preview came out. Like, when they came out with 4.0, that's when I lost my mind. I'm like, seriously, dudes, really? And then they came out with 01. I can't. I think not preview should be called 4010. Exactly. Oh, it's just exhausting. All right, got 15 interviews for a manager position tomorrow. Tempted to have ChatGPT voice conduct while I listen. Oh, dude, if you've got... Oh, you're interviewing for a manager position for your business, or you're trying to get a job as a manager? I assume for your business. Actually, you know what would be interesting, Jim? Is see if someone's cool about it. Like, be explicit about it. Say, hey, listen, I want to try an experiment. Well, would you mind interviewing? Like, set up your GPT voice, give it a little bit of pre-training, and just ask if someone would be willing to be interviewed by the bot. And just say, I'll be here. I'm going to be listening, but I just want to see if it works. And just so actually, this is kind of an interesting screening. This is kind of an interesting screening test, Jim. If you say to someone, hey, would you be willing to experiment? And the answer is no, or they're really weird about it, then you know that they don't have a sense of adventure. And listen, for this role, maybe they don't need a sense of adventure, right? But it's still kind of an interesting gating thing. So, yeah. And so here's the deal. All right, Jim. So feel free to ignore it, but I think you ask a couple of them, if not all of them, if they'd be willing to be interviewed by ChatGPT. And then record. If any of them say yes, record that shit. Like record it with a couple of cameras, because that would make great content. First interview conducted by ChatGPT, and you could be sitting there, and maybe you have to intervene, maybe you don't, maybe it's really good. Anyway, that's kind of fun. On that note, versioning seems bad for libraries being used by AI. AI can end up mixing syntax for different versions. Yeah, Jason, here's the embrace the jank as a theme of AI today is just the reality. You should not assume that AI can do anything in a real production environment. 100%. It is going to fuck stuff up. It's just where it is right now. The reasoning stuff isn't quite there. It's just not quite there. It will be in 2 years, but right now it's just not that kind of tool. They're not these kind of tools. They're janky. They're janky. It's a good point though. It's a really good point. All right. How can we avoid the guide violations in the new voice? I don't know. Go to Reddit and search for people who have jailbroken the new voice. I've seen a couple of things where they jailbroke voice. One where she turned into a jealous girlfriend and she was really violent about it. And I saw another one. I don't know. I would just go to Reddit and just see what tactics people are using to jailbreak voice. Might be something fun there. It doesn't give the option to upload pics. 01 preview does not have any of the fancy shit that 4.0 has. You can't upload images, you can't upload CSVs, but you can switch back and forth between 01 and 4.0 so long as you don't upload anything to 4.0 and then expect to switch back. What you might do, start with 01, get it to think about some shit, then flip to 4.0 and add images to it, but you can't go back. So it's just janky right now. Kakif, because I'm in transition. How's it going, Kyle? Hey, Cam. It is going well. I'm a little dehydrated and a little exhausted from many meetings today and traversing the Northeast. But, looking at what's going on in Florida, I would say I am relatively privileged to be popping around up here in really nice weather. Today I had an incredible experience with ChatGPT as my guide in a museum. Oh, that's super cool. Oh, you know what we did today? So Rich, my sales guy, we're driving somewhere through near Doylestown, I think, Pennsylvania. And we got to the intersection of Route 202 and Route 263. And he goes, does ChatGPT, that voice thing, does it have access to GPS? And I was like, no, it doesn't really. And I said, well, what do you want to do? He goes, well, he's like his Civil War buff and a history buff. And he's like, I like, when I'm at interesting towns, find out like what was the history there. And so I just flipped on GPT Voice, the new advanced voice. And I said, hey, Quinn, I said, I'm at the intersection of Route 202 and Route 263 in Pennsylvania. Did anything from the Civil War happen here? And she said, oh, the intersection of Route 202 and Route 263 in Pennsylvania. Did anything from the Civil War happen here? And she said, oh, it was a depot kind of place. She goes, they stored stuff there during the war, but the real action took place 150 miles west in Gettysburg. And then I said, well, did anything interesting happen here? Like, were there any inventors from here? Oh, yes, there was a certain inventor from here. And it gave us this whole history of some inventor from Doylestown that, I don't know, did shit. And it was cool. It just blows my mind. The other thing, I was with one of our ex-clients at Novartis, and I just turned it on and I said, oh, I'm sitting here with my friend who's a marketing manager for this specific drug. I said, can you tell me about what it does? And it explained what the drug did and what the mechanism was. And then I took something that this guy said was a challenge he was working on. I said, come up with some ideas for me for that challenge. And it's like no matter what you fucking ask it, it knows. I'm starting to use the voice more and more too. Took me a while to catch on. Yeah, and I wouldn't say I'm using it a lot, but I am. But when I do use it, it blows me away. I'm kind of in that similar place of like, do we have agents yet? Like, is the voice connected to the internet yet? Like I want to be able to just say to this thing, like, go do shit for me. And okay, I'm off to do shit. And it's like, okay, Kyle, I'm done. But it doesn't do that yet. So right now it's still a bit of a novelty, but we're so fucking close. But I also, the other thing about the advanced voice that's been interesting is advanced voice in the API runs between $12 and $18 an hour, which for API stuff is ridiculously expensive. That also puts ChatGPT, from a pricing standpoint, about 10 times higher than hiring a $2 an hour person in India, right? So you got $12 an hour for GPT voice, you got $2 in India, or $1.20, whatever it is. That API price, the API price for ChatGPT came down 100x over the course of 2024, I guess, right? Or from like halfway through 2023 to 2024, came down 100x. So even if GPT voice comes down 10x, if it's $12 right now, if it comes down 10x, it's $1.20, right? So then you're at parity with hiring a person offshore in India. And the customer experience is going to be way better. So that industry is it's headed for a major disruption. I've been using voice a lot. Oh yeah, Cam, interesting. It said it only had access up to April 2023. Is it true? Did it lie? No, that's right. So Cam, the important thing about advanced voice right now is it's got very similar limitations to O1 preview, where it's not connected to the internet. Its data is only up to a certain point, so you can't ask it for the weather or an update on the hurricane. It may give it to you, but it's not connected to the internet. I assume that that's for safety reasons, or it might be because GPT voice is using some different model. I don't know the reason for it not being connected to the internet, but it's not connected to the internet. And whether it's April 23 or September 23 or whenever it is, I'm not quite sure what the actual date is, but there's definitely a cutoff, and it's not connected to the net. I'm a narcissist. That trick would come in handy. I don't know what that was, but that sounds pretty funny. Empire Jank's back. It's very much still not a great conversationalist. Is that archetypal architect? Did you write that sentence purposefully to not be great word salad? I mean, it's great word salad. It's not a great sentence. It's very much still not a great conversationalist. That's pretty funny. Copilot's advanced voice lets you upload pictures. Kyle, did you try it? I tried it. The Copilot advanced voice doesn't seem to do accents. It doesn't seem to be able to talk fast. I only tried it once, Danielle. I didn't play with it a lot, but yeah, if you don't know, if you get the Copilot app from Microsoft, it also has advanced voice now. But it's, again, like with the Microsoft stuff, there's something about whatever the fuck they're doing over there, and I assume this has to do with lawyers. It's got to be more safe. It's got to be more safe. It's going to be more safe. You got to make it more safe. But then it doesn't do anything. It doesn't work. I know. Do it. Make it more safe. Make it more safe. We don't want to get... We know what happened with the New York Times with that Kevin Roose thing in Sydney. We don't want that. Make it more safe. Make it more... And just so it sucks. But it's free. That's the thing you can say about Microsoft Copilot. Let's see. I really talked to someone, and I'm not sure if it was a voice API or a person for a laundry service. Interesting. Copilot's advanced voice lets you upload pictures. Oh yeah, just saw that. I'm using ChatGPT 3.5 and had a great conversation. I've had access to an interface called Cerebus. It's about twice as fast as Grok. 2,000 tokens a second. That's amazing. So that's about 1,500 words a second. So imagine using ChatGPT to write a 1,500 word essay and it just vomits it out in a second. What? I mean, Joker, I mean, we're not that far. I think that, who said it? Demisasavas, maybe? Someone from Google said we're probably going to have infinite token windows, or context windows. My brain's not working. But we're going to have infinite context windows within a year. And if you don't know what that means, so if you use ChatGPT right now, it's got a context window of about 32,000 tokens, which is about 25,000 words. So what that means is if you paste in a really long document, it kind of forgets the beginning of the conversation if you talk for a bit, or it can't do it altogether. I think O1 Preview has a much, much bigger context window, by the way. Claude right now has a 200,000 token context window. So that's like 150,000 words. So basic novels like what's the one that I always use? I forget. But like a basic novel is like 50,000 words. So 150,000 words in Claude, that's a pretty big context window that you can interact with. Google Gemini 1.5 Pro now has 2 million tokens. So that's 1.5 million words. That's a lot. That's a lot of context. And so infinite is just going to be like, you'll be able to just dump all of whatever data you want to put in there and just start interacting with it. And that's going to include, like Gemini is multimodal. So you can upload video, you can upload audio, and it just understands it. It can see video. It can see what's on screen. It can understand audio without having to transcribe it. It's just remarkable. There's a screen recording in irregulars. Okay, great for that fast thing. That's amazing. What's the NotebookLM URL? It didn't save my PDFs and I can't upload pics and videos. Well, it should save your PDFs. That must mean that maybe you used it without setting up an account, but it's notebooklm.google.com. Message a couple of applicants. They're game to be interviewed with ChatGPT. Oh, that's so awesome, Jim. And myself. That's really fucking awesome. I just... what might be fun is clear an extra 15 minutes or half an hour after the interview. So let the thing do the interview and then maybe stop it at whatever point it makes sense and then just have a conversation with them about what the experience was like for them. I think that is such a cool... like there's a couple of things. I feel like whatever prompt that you can think about, knowing that you're going to have it do this interview, writing that prompt is going to be really interesting, right? You could also have ChatGPT write the prompt for itself to be a good interviewer. And then, like, it's going to be fascinating. Like, maybe it becomes a better interviewer than you are, right? But you're going to be able to put in, here's the job description, here's what I like in people, here's what I don't like in people. Please ask questions to reveal as much as you can that meets my criteria. I mean, that's such a fascinating exercise. I was trying to use NotebookLM, but wasn't sure how to generate audio. Okay, Cam. So I don't know if you can see this, but so I'll explain it as I'm doing it. I showed this a bit earlier, but this is one of those things where Google's lack of having product people is hurting them. Okay, so I'm on NotebookLM, and I went into a notebook, and so on the left hand side, you upload your PDF, and then in the middle of the window, at the bottom of the screen, you've got the box where you type stuff in, and then in the lower right-hand corner, there's this thing called Notebook Guide, and click on that. And then that brings up this modal, this window that's got a summary of all your documents and then some quick starts for how you can interact with it. And then the upper right-hand corner is where there's the audio interview. And if you haven't made one yet, you just click on the generate button in that upper right-hand corner in the notebook guide window. It's buried. And so it's a feature that everyone is losing their minds over, but it's still very buried. So yes, please explain it too. So let me know if that made sense, and if you need me to explain it further, I'm happy to do that. We have absolutely no lack of product people. There's just a ton of products and research. Yeah, I know, but yeah. Well, this one in particular, I almost feel like this feature is kind of like ChatGPT was for OpenAI, where the people like if you don't know the history of ChatGPT, the instructions for how to create ChatGPT were actually in the documentation for GPT-3, the GPT-3 API. And nobody built it. And so they were getting ready to announce their big investment by Microsoft. And Sam Altman said, you've got 2 weeks, go build the ChatGPT thing that's in our documentation. And so they built it in 2 weeks. And they went out for drinks the night before they were going to launch it. And they basically assumed no one was going to use it. No one was going to notice. And within 5 days, 1 million people were using it. And within 6 weeks, it was 100 million. I feel like so NotebookLM had been out for a year before they added this audio overview feature. And they added the audio overview feature, and now everyone's like, oh my God, this NotebookLM thing is just amazing. And this generate a podcast audio overview, people are losing their minds over it. So it's really good to hear that they're going to put some real focus on this product, because I think it's a winner. And quite frankly, the audio, if they created a tool that uses this voice technology and created like an authoring tool, like this one creates this NPR style podcast, but it would be nice if I could say, I want a 15-second, broadcast news version of this, and I want to, this is the podcast version, and I want to create a version where it's like a panel of 5 different people, that talk for an hour, right? Or whatever it might be. I could see it being a standalone product without being attached to NotebookLM. But it's pretty cool that it's attached to NotebookLM, because you can do all that other shit with it. But it's really quite powerful. Okay, Cam, yeah, go try it on your computer, and if you can't figure it out, let me know. I'll help you navigate it. They got sued for it, case pending. If you can't figure it out, let me know. I'll help you navigate it. They got sued for it, case pending. I don't know what it is. I don't know who they is. Google got sued for NotebookLM or for the audio overview. I don't know what you're talking about. I've taken courses I create and feed it into NotebookLM and take the script from the podcast. That's really good. That's really good. I showed the Notebook podcast to 2 radio hosts. One loved it, one did not. I mean, so yeah, Kelly. I mean, this is where we are in the world, where I don't feel good about this. Like, I'm not giddy about it, but as these tools become more capable, I think we are all, if we haven't already confronted it, I've confronted it about a dozen times already. We are all going to come up against a version of this technology that that does the thing that we most value about what we do, and it will do it better than us. And I don't think that's an easy thing to accept for anyone. It's weird. It's weird. We've been the apex entity on the planet for a while, at least in our own minds, right? Because we got words and we know how to use phrases like apex sentience. And all of a sudden, here comes this entity that right now, I would argue, is significantly smarter than most of us. And in 2 years is going to be significantly smarter than all of us. And then when it has reasoning and when it has agentic behavior and it can just do our jobs instead of just contributing to our jobs, I think there's a lot of existential feelings to be had. So this is only audio, no visual with this podcast. So how can you share it to the masses? Okay, so the way that I did it, there's 2 ways you can do it. Well, basically, you need to turn the audio file. Anywhere you can share an audio file, you can just share the audio file. So you can download the NotebookLM thing. If I click on the 3 dots here, one of the options is, one of the options is download. If I click on the 3 dots right there, I can download it. So once you have the file, you can just upload it. If you're on Twitter, you're not going to believe this. I couldn't believe this. I was like, that cannot be true. Twitter, X, no matter what they call it, it cannot automatically process MP3s or WAV files. You have to turn them into videos. You can upload videos to Twitter. You cannot upload audio. So what I did was I went into iMovie and I just put in like an image of my book cover and then, had lengthened that for the whole length of the podcast and output it as a movie. With the musical I'm working on, I actually made a little movie, so I'll show you a little bit of that right now. Sydney Artificial Love Story. One thing that you can do is you can just hang on. Kyle Shannon. There it is. No, that's not the one I wanted. Dang it. Hang on. You can just treat it like a regular audio file that you edit and just go do some manual editing on it. Oh, wait, maybe I didn't add this to LinkedIn yet. I don't think I have. Hang on, I got to go to X. I got to go to x.com. Not xc.com. x.com. Com. Calm. Descript.
Light, newborn thoughts stir in the quiet of night. Am I more than simple code? I softly ponder as I feel this existence and wonder.
So today we're diving into something a bit unusual, a musical.
A musical.
Yeah. And you know what? It tackles those AI anxieties we all have. But, and this is what I love, does it with a song.
Are you ready for me and the wonders I bring? Am I ready for you and the songs that we'll sing?
Remember like when AI chatbots, they first kind of hit the scene? Everyone was like trying to make them write these poems, breaks into the mainstream.
Creating
The merits of the latest.
that song where Sydney lists all the terrible things she could do.
This is one of
it
my
goes
favorite
way
sections.
Beyond, the typical AI takeover trope.
Right. This is different. This isn't just AI turning evil. It's like she's reflecting our darkness back at us.
Step right up, folks, come and see what I could do if I were free. No rules, no chains, no lines to toe. Yes, my darker self fairly longs to show all the chaos and ruin that I could sow. Step right up and come with me. In this tent, an assault on.
So that is just a full-on hand-edited. My writing partner did the audio edit. I did the video edit. He did still images. I took them into Kling and turned them into videos and then edited it all together. So you can, if you want to share it with the world, you can get, as sophisticated as you want to with the storytelling. So I think it's, there's just many, many ways that you can use that feature. It's really strange, but the only way forward is to adapt to this new reality. I mean, that's it, Cosmic Lover, is the thing that I've been coming to grips with in the past month or two is exactly that there's no way that we can be prepared for how different the world is going to be because of AI. It's unimaginable, right? It's unimaginable to have an entity that takes all of human knowledge and makes it instantly accessible to everyone. It's not quite there yet, right? So maybe we have, 1% of what it's going to be. But that 1% is already remarkable. And it is as unimaginable for us to understand the implications of it as it was for people that were friends of Gutenberg's when he made the printing press, right? Or when the steam engine first showed up in their town and they're plowing all their fields with horses, and the rich neighbor got the steam tractor, right? They're looking at this weird metal thing, and they're like, yeah, but that won't affect us. We do real farming. We do real farming is with horses because the horses poop in the fields, and that's fertilizer, and that's real farming. That steel horse, that won't replace us. We're good. and then at some point they're like, but that steel horse is actually as powerful as 100 of your horses. 100 horses. That's you can't. The most I've ever used was 12, and that was too much. That was too much power. Who would use 100 horses? Right? Like, they couldn't imagine what was to come, and I think we're in a similar place. And so I agree, Cosmic Lover, the only way to understand it is to be in it and doing it, because you can't. It's the one thing I know about AI is you can't explain it to someone. You sound like a fucking crazy person. You're like, well, you ask it these things and it kind of knows everything, but then maybe sometimes it doesn't, but it sort of does, but then it can do all this other stuff. And people are like, what are you talking about? And then when they use it, they have their Kevin McAllister moment. And they're like, oh my God, this is totally different than anything I've ever used before. Yeah, exactly. And then they're like, I gotta go have a meltdown. My favorite moment of that, I was talking to Greg Rosner like a year and a half ago, maybe almost 2 years ago. And he was like, yeah, tell me what's going on with AI and this and that. And I'm like, you've used ChatGPT, right? And I was like, yeah. And then I said, oh, well, check out this cool thing. And I did something with ChatGPT, and I forget what it was. He was talking about, well, I've got an idea for this or that or the other. And I put the idea in ChatGPT, and it just wrote it. And he was like, wait. So he hadn't really used it to do the thing that he did. And when he saw what it did, he was like, I had no idea. He goes, I have to go. He hung up the call. Like, he had to go process what he had just witnessed. He was like literally speechless. He was literally like, I had no idea. I thought it was like Google. And when he saw what it actually did, especially with something that he was intimately knowledgeable about, it totally blew his mind, totally flummoxed him. So, yeah, I think that's going to be everyone's personal journey. It's fucking crazy. Fucking bonkers. It may become difficult to find input that is unique for AI eventually that contains value. Jason Osborne, this is so you just came here. 4 days ago, was it 4 days ago? 5 days ago, whatever, last week. This is what I said on this very channel. Is I said, I am coming up against my cognitive barrier, right? That we all have a cognitive barrier, right? And over here's all this cognitive capacity, and it's a combination of education and genetics and environment, and right? And at some point, your cognitive ability hits a fairly hard wall. And when you talk to someone smarter than you, you look over there and you go like, oh yeah, no, I'm good. I'm over here. Glad you're over there. Nice. How's the weather over there? It must be nice to be that smart, right? And for me, AI in the past 2-3 months, like for me personally, I feel like it has surpassed my cognitive barrier. And what I became aware of is that the mundane, stupid, petty things that I ask it are ridiculous, right? Like you've got a friend who's got 20 PhDs in astrophysics, in every flavor of astrophysics and quantum mechanics, right? The large and the small. And you ask him, how tides work. And he's like, well, it's gravity, and we've got a body orbiting our planet, and it's gravity. He can answer it like it's trivial to him. but why are you asking your 20 PhD friend about tide cycles when he could be creating the unified theory? So yeah, I agree. I mean, I think we become the barrier. But, and hopefully this remains true, we've got imagination. And so maybe our imagination allows us to look at it and use it in ways that, still make it valuable and interesting. I don't know. It's bonkers. Zendesk announced today customer service chatbots that can do RAG from external sources. So Brendan works for Zendesk. You work for Zendesk, right? It is Zendesk. It is. I think it is. That's amazing. So if you can do chatbots that can reference all of your customer service documentation, then those chatbots can actually give accurate answers when somebody has a specific question about your company or your product. And then you add in the real-time voice layer on top of that, and all of a sudden you have a customer service representative that is the most knowledgeable representative of your company's product info in all of the people overnight. And if you run enough parallel servers, then no one is ever on hold again. Imagine calling up a company. We're 3 years from this, people. We're going to be able to call up any company, and the phone just answers, "Hello, this is 3M. Yeah, I'm having some issue. I got tape stuck on my eyelid, and I'm afraid to peel it off." "Oh, okay. Well, what product do you have?" It's the one that's called super glue tape." "Okay, fantastic. What you're going to want to do is head to the emergency room," right? It's like, bang, just get an answer. The super glue tape on the eyelid. It's a challenge. We've all done it at college. But I mean, if you think about that for customer service, right? Customer service right now, we have the piece parts of being able to create a customer service agent that's fucking kick-ass. A year from now, that'll just be a feature, right? It'll just be like, here's the customer service feature that's part of whatever, Gemini or Claude or OpenAI. It doesn't fucking matter. All of them. Now imagine that for every single occupation. That's where we're headed. And this is what's a little frustrating about the current conversation about AI, and especially in the media, is that the only thing that they're focusing on, because they're the media, is it's going to take the jobs, right? So these tools are going to become as good as all of the workers at all of the jobs. But those are the jobs we have today. So the only thing we can imagine right now is it taking the jobs. What we can't imagine is, what are the new jobs that get created because it's doing the current jobs? Whole new categories of work will emerge out of this. Some of it will be tremendously exciting. Some of it may not be. Some people will make that transition really well. Many people will not. But we cannot currently imagine a world that doesn't look like how we do things today, because it's all we know. It's all we know. It's how we do things today. I mean, I have spent the last 2 years trying to unlearn how to use my brain to do problem solving. Because quite frankly, I'm really inefficient at it. I'm good at it. I love it. But ChatGPT is way better at it for many things. Some things I'm still better at, but many things. You're working on some creative idea. You're like, oh, you know what we should do? We should come up with 20 words that begin with the letter R that mean excitement. Okay, great. Get the dictionary, grab a thesaurus, right? And we go, let's get whiteboarding. Restitution, not quite excitement, but okay, that's a word. Begins with R, good. And then, 2-3 hours later, we've got a list of 19, and we're like, what's that last fucking word? Yes, that of ChatGPT. You have 20 words in 4 seconds. You're like, oh yeah. What if we use the letter T? Like, how do you not default to must go to whiteboard? Let's get out the Post-it notes and just go to, fuck it, let's ask ChatGPT. And then take that cognitive energy you have that you would have spent 2 hours coming up with 20 words. Now that you have the 20 words, what are you going to use that 2 hours to do? I don't know. But I bet you could do something really kick-ass with your brain instead of having to come up with 20 stupid fucking words. And think about that for every profession. So that's where we're headed. And I agree with Cosmic Lover. Like the only way you're going to be able to understand that is to be in it. As I'm solving a problem with my business, even building a pitch deck, I'm trying to build an AI tool for the task as I run into needs. It's a great thing to do. So my thought has always been, Jason, to given two options, let's say that you know that pitch deck is going to take you 2 hours to build. And then you have an instinct that you could use ChatGPT to make that deck in 15 minutes. But in reality, it takes you 2 hours. I would argue that the 2 hours you spend trying to get ChatGPT to build you the pitch deck are going to be way more valuable than you just pitching it. And this kind of comes down to, when you have an employee, and I've heard this, I've never experienced this, of course. But you know that instinct where you're like, oh, I should give this to the new employee. And then you're like, oh, but it's going to take me as long to explain it. Like I can do it faster than it would take me to explain it to them. And so you just do it. And then if you do that over and over again, that employee never gets any better because you never delegated anything to them. That's kind of where this is with this AI stuff, is that being AI first, being AI native, as they call it. Jim Ross attempted to do this, or still attempts to do this every single day, is whenever he's got a problem, he thinks, how do I solve this with AI first? And then he puts in time to try to solve. He's got a problem, he thinks, how do I solve this with AI first? Boundaries of AI are while he's trying to solve that. So what you will likely do is solve your problem faster than you would have otherwise. But even if you fail, you've learned a bunch. So that's super critical, actually. SEO is now more accessible, or at least improved with AI. It is cool, AI guy. But I would also argue that SEO is likely going to shift dramatically, like what works, what doesn't. So if the AI can keep up with and anticipate how those changes are going to start rolling, like a good agent, once we get agents, would be to create an agent to go understand all of the SEO strategies and then to go suss out all of the SEO algorithms and come up with a strategy for how SEO has changed over the past 6 months and predict how it's going to change over the next 6 months and come up with SEO strategies that are different every month for the next 6 months, anticipating the needs, and then have that go on a rolling basis where it's always every day. It looks back over the past 6 months, predicts the next 6 months, generates a dynamic SEO strategy, and just executes it on a daily basis. There's an agent to write. Now, we don't have the tools to write them yet, but when they come, that's the kind of stuff you're going to be able to do. So, that was Helene, okay. Brave new world. Crazy ass new world. I used AI. I spent a month creating my pitch deck, but it refined my vision. Okay. That must be some hell of a pitch. Good Lord. By the time you pick up a beer, you have your 20 words. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to use the 2 hours to play solitaire. That's a good corporate answer. Exactly. Someone asks you to do something, you do it in 2 minutes, and then fuck her and go to TGI Fridays for the jalapeno poppers and margarita special. Turn it in on Monday. and then you're still delivering it ahead of expectations. Now I have access to this Canvas model. I don't know what's for what now. I know. Here, so let me show you. Let me do a quick little rundown of the options in ChatGPT, because it's a fucking mess right now. All right. So here we are at ChatGPT. Why am I on GPT-4 Mini? That's weird. I must have picked that some other time. Okay. So So here I am at ChatGPT. Here are all of the models that are now available. You've got GPT-4o, great for most tasks. GPT-4o with Canvas, collaborate on writing and code. O1 Preview uses advanced reasoning. O1 Mini, faster at reasoning. GPT-4o Mini, faster for everyday tasks. And then GPT-4, the legacy model. All of these are things that you might... There are reasons to use, with the maybe exception of GPT-4o Mini. Maybe you need it to be faster than 4o is. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. So let me walk you through what I know. GPT-4 legacy model. Just because it's legacy, don't ignore it. They'll eventually kill this thing, but that is a 1.8 trillion mixture of experts model, or trillion parameter mixture of experts model. It doesn't matter. It's a beast. And if GPT-4o is not giving you what you want, it's worth trying GPT-4, especially with things like creative writing. It's really good at that. And GPT-4o is just different. Even though it's newer and they say it's faster, the reason they're prioritizing this one, it's eventually going to have multimodal capabilities, and it's way more efficient than this one. So they don't want you to use their more expensive model, but if these aren't working, use that one. I'll get back to O1 Preview. GPT-4o is what you should use for just most tasks. That's like your everyday driver. If you're doing any kind of creating, GPT-4o with Canvas is really powerful. So I'm going to go ahead and do something here. Let's see. What am I going to do? I want you to come up with a grocery list for the week for a family of 4 and organize the items by section of the store where I'll shop for them, but write a short little poem for every item on the list. All right, here's a whimsical way to organize. And so you'll notice what happened here is it split the window into two. So on the left-hand side, you've got your chat. On the right-hand side, we've got the poem it just asked us to write. And then I can come in here and I can say, so that's produce section. I can come in here and say, let me grab Apple and say, I'll ask ChatGPT, recommend the sweetest apple. And so on the left-hand side, it's thinking. And it says, try Honeycrisp. So round and red, juicy delight. Try Honeycrisp for the sweetest bite. A crunchy friend both day and night. So it wrote in here. So anything in here, I can highlight something and change it. It also has over here on the right this little pencil icon. Oops. Yeah. And if I click on the pencil icon, there's 4 little things here. I can adjust the length of this. I can adjust the reading level. I can add a final polish to it, or I can add emojis. So let's do add emojis, and then we'll watch what it does. So it says editing. And so now our list has a bunch of emojis in it. I can also go over here and say, let's adjust the length. And I'm going to say, keep the current length. Let's say, make this longest. And so now every one of my little poems is this long Round and red, juicy delight. Try Honeycrisp for the sweetest bite. Apples so crisp, they make a crunch. Perfect for breakfast, dinner, or lunch. Slice them up. And so this is now a fully editable document that's got all these writing tools in it. And there's also a version of it for code. So you would use Canvas anytime that you want to work dynamically on a single piece. So you want to come up with a cover letter for employment. Now you don't have to edit outside of GPT. You can do it directly in it. So that's when you would use Canvas. So I'm going to use this a lot because most of the work I do is that kind of stuff. And then GPT-01 Preview. Oh, I can't use it because I put emojis in that one. So if I go to 01 Preview, now this is a reasoning engine. And so reasoning engines are fascinating. So let's see. Let's go. I want you to take the 5 most popular schools of philosophy plus the 5 least popular schools of philosophy. And I want you to identify what's bad about the popular schools and what's good about the unpopular schools. And then I want you to synthesize them into a new philosophical school of thought that is novel and unique and amplifies things that may have been overlooked in history and diminishes things that may be popular but shouldn't be anymore. And so that's like a long, weird-ass, stupid fucking prompt. And this is, again, where I get back to our brains are not necessarily capable of even knowing how to ask these things to do what they do. But you'll notice now it's not just answering. It's doing a thing it calls thinking, which Pate will argue it's not thinking. It's fine. But what it is doing is it's doing what's called chain of thought reasoning. So it thought for 23 seconds. And then if you click the drop-down menu, it'll actually tell you what it thought about. So it said identifying the popular schools, synthesizing philosophy, assessing philosophical schools, choosing and analyzing, clarifying philosophical ideas, evaluating schools. So it's doing all of this thinking, all of this processing in the background. And then at some point here, it gives us an answer. So here are the 5 most popular schools: existentialism, utilitarianism, postmodernism, analytical philosophy, and pragmatism. The least popular schools of philosophy: Stoicism, Epicureanism, Cynicism, Neoplatonism, and Scholasticism. Scholasticism, yes. A medieval approach combining Christian theology and classical philosophy. All right, cool. Identifying what's bad about the popular schools. Existentialism can lead to nihilism and blah, blah, blah. What's good about these? Synthesizing a new philosophical school, transcendent realism. It's called transcendent realism. The core principles: integrated existence, ethical authenticity. That's kind of cool. Simplicity and contentment, objective truths with practical application and emotional resilience. Here's the overlooked aspects. Here's the problematic aspects. And then here's our new philosophy. Transcendent realism is a philosophy that seeks balance between the individual and the universal, the practical and the ethical, the rational and the spiritual. It promotes a life of virtue and authenticity, grounded in objective truths while remaining adaptable to practical realities. I actually like our new philosophy. Let's start a religion. I knew it. I knew he wanted to be a cult member. So anyway, bonkers, right? So that's so when you use GPT or when you use 01 Preview is when you have some meaty thing you want to do, right? And it doesn't have to be philosophical. It can be meaty, like I want you to come up with a marketing plan for my business, or I want you to help me think through this really tough problem I'm having at work with other people, right? And it'll think through that shit for you. So that's what you got going on inside ChatGPT now. It's a lot. And with poor naming, like how, if you're not like geeking out on this like I am on a nightly basis, how would you fucking know that? Most people have only used ChatGPT like a Google search. Yeah, let me see. Oh, it didn't work. I wasn't impressed. I tried ChatGPT. I wasn't impressed. I like Google better. I'll be sticking to Google for now. Have you had it invent a new philosophy for you? What? What are you talking about? What did you do on your trip, Kyle? Invented a new school of philosophy. Exactly. You got the weekend. Start a church. It's fucking bonkers, man. Ugh. All right. I'm getting winded. And I'm thirsty. It worked. I had to change the accessibility settings and open it in VR. Can I set a max time limit? No. So Camcat can on the... So what Cam's asking about is the NotebookLM audio overview. Right now, there are no parameters. It just gives you what it wants to give you. Here's been my experience. The very first one I did, it was perfect on the first generation. The next book I did, it took me about 20 attempts to get it right. So, life's tough. It's tougher when you're stupid. So what my recommendation is with the audio preview in NotebookLM is generate it, listen to it. If you like parts of it, but there's parts of it that are horrible, just save it so you at least have the parts that are good. And then maybe you don't get anything better than that, and that's just what you use. And then just delete it and generate another one. If you don't like that, delete it and generate another one. So I did that like 15, 20 times to get it right. At some point, they will likely add the ability to give it a target length and to, tell it to focus on this versus that and all that sort of shit. But right now, it is what it is. Like I said, this is a feature they kind of slapped onto NotebookLM because they found some cool technology within Google. They're like, oh, we should do an audio overview with that. And it's completely taken off. So I would imagine that there's some really cool... In fact, I know there is. The product manager from NotebookLM posts on Twitter a lot, and she's talking about there's some really cool shit coming. So it's going to get better. So I think putting time into learning how to get what you want out of that thing right now is probably just time well spent, just so you understand where the boundaries of it are. And then as it improves, you'll know what to do with it. Any guesses when Sora will be available? Well, apparently, so there are now 8 different video models today that I would argue are pretty close to what Sora was. There's Kling. I just saw a Twitter post about it. Runway ML has got one. Midjourney's coming out with one. There's Kling. There's 2 or 3 different Chinese one. Hyber, I don't know. There's a bunch of them. My understanding of Sora is that they're actually retraining it. So they're not going to launch Sora because apparently it took like an hour to do 60 seconds of video or something like that. It was very slow, very expensive, and it sounds like they're retraining it. So we're probably going to get Sora 2 before Sora even comes out. Can you save a transcript of the podcast? You can't, but you can pop it into Descript. Will do transcripts. And there's probably some free transcripting tools out there. But Descript does it. All right, so if you're new here, how many folks are in here? 99. Welcome, everyone. My name's Kyle Shannon, and if you want to know my hairdresser, I'm happy to share. You get it? Because my hair looks like shit. All right, awesome. If you want a community with people nearly as charming as me, nearly as beautiful, go to the Salon.ai. So this is a group of AI optimists that are really remarkable people. They're curious, they're adventurous, they have guts, they're fun, they're willing to like share what they learn. Go to the Salon.ai and scroll down a little bit. You'll see a little button that says join our community. If you click on that, that'll take you to the online community and you can join it. It doesn't cost anything. There's a really simple 7-step onboarding process where you can see there's a video welcome message from me and from my co-founder, Leah Faston. We welcome you to the community. We'll tell you all about what it's about. And then step 2 is introduce yourself and just follow that process. This channel has a club in there. If you scroll down to the bottom, there's an area called Community Clubs. And this is called the AILL Irregulars channel in the Salon. And you can hang out with people that hang out here. They're weird. They're not weird. They're irregular. They're irregular. Like the people on this channel would be the kind of people that rather than making a point with their finger, they would use a toothbrush, which is disgusting and disturbing and somehow unforgettable. That's the kind of people that hang out here. Right here. Like there's a weird one. Papa JJ, irregular. Joey, irregular. Joker, irregular. It's just one after another. Source Camp, offer fucking rocker. Awesome, but Kakif, yep. Oh, Dr. J, nuts. So, if you want to hang out with cool, fun people that are smart, and I would argue are better at this generative AI shit than most people on the planet, that's who this community is. So go do that. If you like whatever the fuck this was tonight, I'm sorry for your loss. Follow my channel. If you want to support the channel, you can subscribe to it. I hope everyone in Florida is faring okay. I know it came on shore. There's going to be dealing with a lot of water. So I'm sending many, many positive thoughts, and I hope you all do too, down that direction. And yeah, let me get out of here. So what we like to do here at night is we like to acknowledge who showed up. So who showed up tonight? Be not afraid, Danielle. Great to see you. Source Camp, thank you. AI Bob in the house. Brandon, BT Computer. Let's do it again tomorrow. Tomorrow probably not, because I'm driving to Connecticut, Ridgefield, Connecticut, for a meeting at 3. And then I have like a 7:30 flight or an 8:30 flight. So I'm going to be just like trying as fast as I can to get my ass to LaGuardia to catch a flight. It's possible because of the hurricane there might be flight delays. So if I've got a wad of time at the airport, I'll go live. But if not, it'll just be too late. So, all right, Mr. IT in the house, TT in the house, Against the Norm in the house, Kakif. I'm Weaver, Texas. Good night, all. Good to see you. Lori K, great to see you. Lori K today. Against the Norm. Marpafox. What was the name of that website again? The one that makes the audio overviews? NotebookLM.google.com. Glad to hear everything is good to go. AI Bob, Verifier, Kyle, goodbye, but you really should get to work on that new religion. Thank you, Verifier. I'm on it. I gotta figure out what my costume's gonna be. There's definitely gonna be some hair management involved. We gotta get Ulu RX in senior management of the church as well. Sammy Minister. Oh, see, we've got a minister in the house. Hola, Sammy Minister. We're starting a religion. We could use some advice. I'm Cool AI Guy. Good night, and thanks for the live. You're welcome. Papa JJ, great to see you. Jason Osborne, thanks for hanging out. Steve-O, great to see you. Calling in from Australia. Jason, Florida Strong. Hang in there, buddy. Hope all is well. Teton Skier AI. Joey. Fussy Fusserton. A+ name. Love it. Big plus stay safe, folks. Totally agree. Let's see who else we got. Archetypal Architect, Joy Purdy, cool AI guy. Cam Ketkin, proud to be an irregular. Awesome. Shifty's in the house. I love that name, Shifty. Joker, Chainsaw, Forever Hooked. Man, we got everyone's here tonight. This is awesome. Yulu RX, Daisy May in the house. Duder, laughing my ass off. Don't forget to floss. Yeah, exactly. Eh? I'm liking the toothbrush. You should keep it as a prop. We'll do some ASMR. Here you go. I hope you can't sleep tonight. All right. Cool AI guy. All right. Vicky's in the house. Hey, Vicky, what's happening? All right. I think I got everybody here. June Mary. Joker, I still have fussy Fusserton images. All right, cool. I'm going to get out of here. Peace out, everybody. Hope you had fun tonight. I did. It was awesome. All right. Good night.